There are a number of candidates that are talking about reparations.
Yes.
Do you support reparations for Black people?
I support reparations. I support economically designed programs with race as a conscious part of them that balance the scales and address past ills, not just slavery, but even things that were going on until the 50s, 60s, in 70s that were specifically race-conscious programs that were designed to disadvantage African Americans. So if you have programs that were designed to create the problems by excluding African Americans in housing, in mortgage loans, in access to capital, we need to have things with race in mind that are conscious to balance those scales and address those past ills.
What does that plan look like, and what are you proposing to do to explore reparations for Black people?
Well, I don't have all the answers, and I think that we should pull the best minds in America together to do them. So there's a bill you've heard mentioned a lot, H.R. 40. Well, we're announcing today that I am going to be the Senate champion, the Senate sponsor of the H.R. 40 bill in the Senate. I'm proud to be the person, and we've been working on this for a long time, to bring together the best minds to now support the Senate companion and hopefully get this bill passed into law. But I'm not waiting, because there's a lot of folks in my neighborhood who want the scales balanced now. And that's why I've been pushing a lot of legislation with specifically, as I designed it, to deal with these inequities. We need to figure out what the larger plan is. That's why I'm leading on the Senate version for H.R. 40. But right now, again, people in my community don't have time to wait. My baby bonds plan, which would be putting $1,000 into the bank accounts of every American child born, and then based upon income, every year, you can get deposits in that account. The lowest income people will get $2,000. With compounding interest, by the time a child is 18 years old, the lowest income kids would have upwards of $50,000 of wealth now to invest in things that create generational wealth, education, buying a home, starting a business. As Columbia University analyzed that, it would collapse the racial wealth gaps between blacks and whites. That would make a real difference in this community where so many children are born below the poverty line.
And I just want to be perfectly clear, because many people are not sure where your position is. You definitely support reparations for Black people.
Yes.
But right now, you are providing these other alternative plans until there's a comprehensive way to get those reparations for Black people, just to be clear.
Yeah, but we are having important discussions and debates. But I return to a low-income African-American community. My folks have urgent needs right now. You walk with me around my block. There are folks that need jobs. There are folks that need housing. There are folks that need economic opportunity. That's one of the reasons I stay rooted here. So I have a sense of urgency. And so that's why when I lead the Senate on marijuana reform, I make sure I get out there in front to lead, but talk to people about restorative justice. That's why I lead the Senate on issues of dealing with American poverty, but do it knowing that if I can do the right bills, they're going to have a disproportionate impact on communities of color.
Do you feel some of the presidential candidates are pandering to Black people about the reparations conversation?
Yeah, look, again, my whole life career has been in Black communities, and I've seen lots of people come into my communities to campaign for votes, and respect that. I support I'll support whoever the Democratic nominee is. I hope it's me. But this whole reparations conversation has been frustrating to me, who lives in an African-American community where there are daily urgencies, that when we wake up, there is a sense of who's fighting for us. And so for this reparations conversation to be now reduced to a box people are checking on a presidential campaign, as opposed to a life purpose to try to balance the scales, to right the wrongs. I'm not calling into question any of the convictions of the other presidential candidates. Some of them are like family members to me. They fight in the trenches with me. They support these issues. But I'm talking about this larger conversation and how we're having it right now. As a guy that gets very frustrated and angry when I watch national conversations about things like marijuana, we're like, let's just legalize marijuana and not do something to correct, where everybody's saying those issues and in the same voice talk about, hey, I'm doing this not just because I want to let adult users have access to marijuana, fine, but we should be doing this. The purpose of this is to address the historic, ongoing, racist applications of marijuana laws in this country. I've been unapologetic in talking about that. I put in legislation years ago to address that. And now suddenly it's a presidential campaign, and we've reduced so many of these conversations about racial inequities and disparities to a check on a box. Do you support reparations? Yes. Next. No. No. This is not going to solve the problems we have in this country that are hurting us all.